I will then give the floor to Iñaki and Olga to present the main characteristics of CORDA and to give a demo. Of course, again, if you have already some questions, don't hesitate to use the Q&A function there to put your questions. Okay, so then Iñaki, I give you the floor. So please go ahead.
Thank you very much, Jose Miguel. As Jose Miguel mentioned, CORDA is the single entry point node for reference, geospatial reference data for Copernicus Services, mainly Copernicus Emergency Management Services, Land Monitoring Services, and Security Services. But we also give access to data providers, to CORDA platform, also to review the data that is hosted, that is registered in CORDA, to check that the data that they host is up to date, is exactly as it is in the data provider. We have 42 countries in CORDA, 300 data providers, more than 2,000 datasets, around 6,000 datasets labeled with 30 inspired themes and a lot of different data types. But the important numbers, these are very important numbers, but the importance is the team that we have behind. As Jose Miguel has mentioned, we have a technical team and a content team that is monitoring the reference data, monitoring the data sets, and checking that everything is in place. So two kinds of data, let's say in CORDA, the indexed reference data, as I mentioned, that is hosted at data provider level, but we link it into CORDA, make it available through a single entry point node, so it is accessible to services. And we have also the multi-country data sets. These are hosted in CORDA, built with the idea of unifying thematically these data sets and having access to all this information in a single point. Okay. The main objectives of CORDA to have the data of relevance for Copernicus services according to data specifications, with the scale, with the attributes that are needed for that. For that, we have a step before, that is the data registration, where we check the quality of each of the spatial data services that are registered in CORDA, also the metadata. We also label the data sets according to the specifications. We also check the coverage of each of the spatial data services using the NATS codes, statistical units, so we can find them properly in a viewer. This is the third point, the findability of each of the data sets. We make this data set accessible. We monitor each of the data sets. We have a monitoring process to check each of the services, and we also update them every week. So this is thanks basically to the monitoring process that we have behind, as I mentioned. It's a monitoring process that is running daily. So we check all these spatial data services, links, metadata every day. We check the metadata, we check what is happening, what is changing, and we raise some automatic alerts to the content team so we can review fast what is happening and update it so you can have a full catalog of reference data available and updated. As a result of this process, we have also some dashboards like the monitoring status dashboard that is showing the availability of each of the spatial data services. You will be able to check it in the demo, and also a dashboard showing the performance of each of the services as we are checking it daily. So now I give the floor to Olga to explain the registration process.
Yes, thank you. First, to see how we manage with the information they provide us from monitoring. So the content team compiles information from nightly resources status analysis, plus change detected in the URL of related links and changes in the title or date of the metadata for the dataset or service. We analyzed alert message, all of them, to update the data indexed in CORDA. If we cannot find a solution, we seek assistance from the data provider, explaining the situation we have found to them. And with this process, we ensure that the information indexed in CORDA remains fresh and ready to be used. This one, please.
Yeah, something very important you mentioned is that we also contact the data providers. And I mentioned before that those data providers has also access to the platform to review their data, the data that we are linking in CORDA and that they host. So it's very important also this access, because they will be able to review how we are explaining each of the fields, how we are filling our metadata fields, and also they will be have access to the monitoring status and performance.
Okay, well, the CORDA scope is to work in the EEA 38 plus United Kingdom, and we prioritize the data that is downloadable, free of charge and openly licensed. But before indexing any data in CORDA, we perform the following quality checks. So we ensure the data is reliable by sourcing it from official sources. Regarding the relevance, we search with the Copernicus service requirements in mind to ensure the indexed data aligns with their needs. In terms of accessibility, we look for accessible resources in the dataset, such as web services. For functionality, before creating a dataset in CORDA, we verify that the resource loads correctly in a GIS browser. And finally, in terms of consistency, we ensure that the resource information is consistent within the dataset metadata description. This one, please. Well, let's see a little bit what is the information we record in CORDA, we offer in CORDA to tell more correctly. The main information is extracted from the dataset metadata and stored in the CORDA database. The most relevant attributes are translated into English to populate the CORDA dataset and resource cards, both of them. And each dataset is associated with a provider, which, as said before, guarantees data reliability. I would like to emphasize that the completion of data and metadata is essential to enhance the usability of the information. And in the blue rectangle are the attributes of the dataset gathered in CORDA. The attributes in bold are directly sourced from the dataset metadata. We will explain their meaning during the demo, so I am not going to go in detail now. And in the brown rectangle, you can see the most common related links, which offer, in here we offer valuable information of the dataset, as for example, data dictionary, viewer, or additional geographic information. Let's see what about the resource in the next slide. So each resource is linked to a dataset, providing access to the data described within it. In the blue rectangle, you can see the attributes of the resource category in CORDA. As mentioned, most of the data in CORDA is sourced from the data provider. In the brown rectangle, you can see the formats offered in CORDA. In this case, if a resource, well, Atom is not included, but Atom is as well. But if the resource has a URL format, it indicates that a human interaction is required to access the data. About dedicated resources, I would like to say that if a service is provided through an agreement and requires an authentication, CORDA uses a proxy to ensure that on one hand, that the provider data is protected within the CORDA environment, as user credentials are not displayed. And on the other hand, that authorized users have easy access to the service. For that data that require individual use authentication, information on how to proceed in that authentication is provided in the tips. Well, tips are attributes created by the content tip to enhance the resource information. It provides recommendation, tricks, and details description on the process to access to a resource. And now I give the floor to Iñaki again.
Thank you, Olga. We will jump to a demo where we will see basically how to search this spatial data services and datasets. We will also review the metadata of each of the datasets, some indicators regarding the availability of this, and then the dedicated page of the multi-country dataset. So I will stop sharing this one, and I will share CORDA. So here we are. This is CORDA. Remember that if you are not registered in CORDA, you have a register form that you can fill. The EA will accept then your request, and you will be part of the CORDA users. I will log in first of all. And here we see, first of all, the search tool. That is the main tool of CORDA. We have a basic search where we can text something into this text box, use the area to select one area, some advanced search to search by inspired theme. We have classified all of our data sets according to the inspired theme, so they can be easily findable. We have also resolution, scale, years, and so on. In this case, I will try to find some land use data of Austria. As I mentioned before, we classify all of our data sets according to the NATS statistical units. So you can also find them by the code. I will use basically 80, the country code, to go directly to Austria. Then the country is highlighted, and we can go to the search. Then we get the results of the search. As you can see, we can see here the data sets with the main attributes. We can later on go into the detail of the data sets. We have also refiners here to refine our search by data type, or also by data provider, and then select the country. We have also another way to search that I would like to show you. That is basically using the search tool, using LPs, for example. And in this case, I will basically go to 80 Austria. So again, but without using the inspired theme, I will just try to find the LPs data of Austria. So now we can see that we have less elements here. We have only 8 data sets, and in this case of just the data providers of Austria.
And can we see how to see the coverage of a specific theme in CORDA?
Sure. For that, we have another tool, that is the Explore tool, that shows a color map of each of the inspired themes. This is the one for addresses, but we can go to elevation.
Yeah.
Elevation. Very well. And we can also select one of these countries. So we are basically representing the amount of data set registered in CORDA by NATS. So we can go to a country, Germany, for example, and see all the data sets for elevation for that country, or go deeper into detail and see just for Berlin, let's say the number of data sets of elevation that we have.
And how can we look for the data of a specific data provider?
In that case, as you can see, there are different ways to search, but in that case, we can use the data provider page. That is a dedicated page classifying the data sets by data providers. Then, for example, select the national mapping agencies to filter the others, and go, for example, to Spain, that we have 2. And here we have, for example, the National Geographic Institute of Spain. Go in and see that they have 38 datasets registered in CORDA. And we will see here the description of the data provider and the datasets.
Yeah, let's go to see one of them in detail. The first one, for instance.
Let's go to see the PNOA.
Yeah. Okay, the information provided in CORDA has a direct dependency on the metadata. As we have said more than once, the more accurate information is provided there, the better service CORDA can offer to end users. And we are going, or I am going to go fast over the description of the attributes that are provided in here. First of all, is the title. The title is harmonized across the CORDA structure, the CORDA database. So you can see the same structure for any data set, not matter which is the data provider, and the same happens with the services or their resources. Starting with the topic, the topic is the inspired theme or themes that the dataset is related to or with. The scale is the denominator of the scale that is provided in the metadata. Same for the resolution. The resolution is shown in meters according to the information that is provided in the metadata. The keywords are words that help to the location of the data, as Iñaki has shown with LPs. The abstract usually comes as well for the metadata and is the statement that enhances the reader to understand the content of the data. And attribution is the information that should be provided when reusing this data to ensure proper credit to those responsible for the creation, collection, or creation of the data, and help to maintain transparency, accountability, and data provenance. Regarding start, year of timestamp, and end year of timestamp, these are the years from or up to which dataset is valid, relevant, or applicable. This value is also taken from the dataset metadata and is reflecting the temporal extent values. Regarding reference data, this is the most up-to-date among the datasets creation, publication, and revision dates available in the dataset metadata. Going to the related links, these are useful information related to the dataset. And here, in those cases, I want to highlight that in those cases that the dataset are not according to any of the inspired themes, it's crucial to provide the data dictionary, ideally in English, because this way make the information much more easy to understand. If we have that information, we link it as a related link with the others. Regarding the metadata URL, this is not mysterious, is the URL of the dataset metadata in XML format. And for the limitation on public access, here we include the information of condition present in the dataset metadata that restrict public access to spatial data services due to any of the reasons mentioned in the Article 13.2 of the Inspired Directive. And for the conditions applying to access and use, here we put the information of the legal constraints present in the datasets metadata under the tag constraints. Regarding contacts, this is the email of the contact point provided in the dataset metadata and can be obtained if you push the Show Contact button. Do it? Yeah. And related dataset, this is the list of datasets that are tightly related to this to this dataset, usually those that cover the same territory and thematic during different periods of time or with a different resolution. Let's start to see the resources by starting with the URL 1. Again, total dependency of the accurate and complete of the information that is provided by the data provider. And here I would like to highlight that it's not needed to go inside to have access to the URL. You can choose from outside. And yeah, once inside, in this case, is recommended to go inside because the information provided in the tip is very valuable, is very helpful. But let's go step by step. In the format, we put the information about the capability of the service. In this case, the URL, as I mentioned, is something that is needed, structure in which you need to make an interaction with what is offered in the data provider's server. Status is the information about the response of this service to the monitoring process run along the if. Authentication let us know that the information has been provided through a proxy, the proxy I has mentioned before. And language is information about the language in which the information is provided in this resource. In this case, usually when this is our ultimate, like is in this case, we put English as default because there is not information in any language, let's say. And CRS is the Coordinates Reference System in which the resource or spatial data service is available. If there are several, we put the more popular one, for instance, the 4326. And the URL is the URL of the resource. And regarding the tips, here we can see an example of them. Instruction provided when it's needed the interaction. We provide some information about the different reference system existing in Spain, as well as the need of be registered. You need to download more than 20 files and how to do it. And finally, the step to do that download step by step. And now let's see the OGC one resource to explain a couple of four services. That one, for instance.
You mentioned before the copy link option here.
Yeah,
we have to access directly to the
without the need of entry into the resource. So if you don't need to go to the details of the URLs, for instance, you can do it straightly. In any case, if you have doubts of problems by loading that service or resource, go inside to look up for the tips, because if we have experiment the same situation and achieve to solve, otherwise it's not in CORDA. We share with the end users what is the finding and how to proceed to be able to load the data properly. So in this case, I'm going to explain very quick the fees and access constraints. Both are just regarding the OGC services, because it's the answer available in the get capabilities response of this kind of services. Would you look for fee or access constraints? And the metadata URL is the URL of the special data service metadata in XML format, if it exists. And if it exists, we add as well the metadata data, that is the data when the metadata record was last created or updated. And for this, we can see to go to the statistics if you want, Iñaki.
Yeah, we can go directly through the spatial data service page, or here in the card you have access to the statistics. What I mentioned before, the monitoring status of this service or resource, showing the daily monitoring that we have. So you will be able to check that the service was working every day, a very healthy spatial data service in this case, and with very good performance. In one case there was a peak here, probably because of an update. So we can say that this dataset is spatial data service is accessible, and check here in these statistics.
Okay, before going to the area of multi-country, that is the next one, let's see a couple of interesting tools available from the search tab, collection and my views. That one. Go to collection, please. Or collection are a group of resources selected by content team according to a criteria. In this case, if you click cadastral, go to cadastral one. Okay, thanks. Well, in this case, downloadable cadastral parcel of 14 countries. But we have 29 resources because in the case of Spain and Luxembourg, the coverage is composed by several resources. Go again to the collections, because I would like to make a special mention to the collection related with multi-country. These collections allowed easy access to the sources used to create the thematic multi-country datasets that we are going to see very soon. And to finalize with this, my views are the private collection that each CORDA user can create to have located some resources of his or her interest group under a chosen descriptable title. And now,
yeah, for example, if you have always some resources that are used for an alert, or you can also keep it here. So let's go to the multi-country dataset dedicated page. As we mentioned, we have 7 multi-country datasets, thematic multi-country datasets, one for administrative units, another one for buildings, 4 for hydrography, land water bodies, standing waters, water courses, wetlands, and the last one, that the new one, is the one of land use. We have also some information here related to the process we follow to generate these multi-country datasets. You can also access to information related to that in this page. Let's go to see the one of water courses.
Okay. As Iñaki has said, based on inspired structure, well, Iñaki has said that we have worked over 7. So these 7 themes or topics has been work based on the inspired structure. But we have created a flattened data model with the attributes that were selected as of relevance by the Copernicus Services of each of those topics. CORDA provides semantically harmonized thematic multi-country dataset based on national and regional sources, and the structure of the dataset and resource cards is analog of the one already explained. So I would like just to highlight some specific aspect of this type of datasets. Regarding the metadata, it's constructed by referencing to the original metadata of the dataset used, and these original metadata are listed and references within the multi-country metadata. This way, we ensure that the traceability of the data is there. And regarding data links, we focus on 2 of them, the data model and data dictionary. Through this document, we explain the flattened data model that we have used and the correspondence between the dataset attributes and the inspired attributes. Regarding fillet attributes, this file allowed end user to know the level of completeness of the attributes for each country without needing to download each geo package. We're going to see this is the case of the water course. Additionally, in the case of water course on the column on the right, we have included information on the presence or absence of a stream order and its typology. That is, and just to finish, it's important to highlight that the access restrictions are maintained. This means that if any of the resources used to create a multi-country is restricted to be used by a specific Copernicus service, the restriction is kept in the multi-country. And Iñaki is going to show us how to access to the resources.
Yeah, we have also a custom download tool. I will later on show how we can directly download, but we develop a custom downloading tool. You will be able to select the country or select a specific area, cross-bordering area, for example, to download the information that is required. But you also have, as we had in the previous datasets, the resources here by country that are basically pre-built geo packages, so you can directly download this geographical information in your desktop tool. And to end with this, we just to let you know that we have a feedback form, so you can contact us whenever it's needed to let us know if you have an issue or a problem. So please contact us. And I will continue with the slides. So let me share again my screen. Sorry for this. And now I will need to swap. Very well. Okay, I will move to the one we were, sorry. Very well. This is just to mention that we have a helpdesk support, as I mentioned. You will be able to contact us through the CORDA application, but also through our email. We have a content and technical team behind this helpdesk support to give you support regarding technical issues, or also if you need the specific requests of data whenever a dataset is not in CORDA, you will be able to contact us and we will try to find it through our content team and contacting the data providers.